Hey everybody, Jake LeBon back with you here for the Washburn Football 2022 season preview. We are 9 days away from kickoff at Yager Stadium for the September 1st game between Washburn and Lincoln to kick off the 2022 season. We are on to storyline number 9. If you missed storyline number 10, it's very, very simple. You can go back or just go right up there, click on the link for number 10 headline and storyline leading into Washburn's 2022 season. How are they going to handle expectations? Go more in depth on that one. Number 9 is still team-oriented, and it is maybe the most important aspect in all of college football, and that is the one-score game record. Your record at the end of the year matters so much on how you do in close games. Last year, Washburn was excellent in one-score games. Now, if you want to go just the letter of the law, right, numbers, which is very, very simple, they went 4-2 in one-score games. Lost to Nebraska Kearney, 28-24 in Kearney. Beat Mo West at Yager, 47-41. Lost to Emporia State, 35-30 in the rain. Beat Hayes in overtime, 23-20. Beat Northwest by 1, 17-16. Beat Pitt State at basically the buzzer with Jace Williams blocking a field goal. But if you actually look at all of those games, Washburn really went 5-1 in one-score games last year. The loss to Emporia State, the score was 35-30, but Washburn got down early. Couple interceptions early, put Washburn in a deep hole. They came all the way back, but the 35-30, it was a one-score game, but Washburn had a Herculean effort to get back in it. But the other game too, Central Oklahoma, Washburn's score was 29-17. They were up by just one score after the J.J. Letcher return for a kickoff return for a touchdown. And then what ended up happening is UCO marched down, but Washburn got the big sack. Braden Rose, of course, takes the scoop and score all the way. So the final score is 29-17, but really it came down to one play at the end of the game. So if you look at all of that, Washburn went 5-1 in one-score games last year. The only game that they really lost was to Nebraska Kearney up in Kearney. That is fantastic in one-score games. They went 9-2. 5 of their 9 wins were by one score. It's so important how you do in one-score games. Let's go back a little bit. No season in 2020, obviously, because of COVID. 2019, Washburn, 0-2 in one-score games. Lost in overtime to Hayes, lost then to Central Oklahoma. They went 6-5 in 2019. You flip those, let's say they win those 2 close games, then you go 8-3. 8-3 is a very good record. Might even get you on the outside looking in, maybe even get you in the playoffs. So that is why it is so important in one-score games. How does Washburn do in one-score games this year? Sometimes it can be a very fickle statistic. Like I mentioned, 2019, they went 0-2. Last year, they essentially went 5-1. Flip-flopping those records can take you from 6-5 to 8-3 or 8-3 to 6-5. One-score games. How does this team do it? Do they have the same type of focus? They got a lot of the playmakers back. New quarterback. We'll get into, obviously, that coming up a little bit later in this preview series, but that is so important. How do you do in one-score games? You know, if you look at the analytics and everything, a lot of people say, well, you can't expect to go 5-1 in one-score games. But with a lot of the same players back, that same mentality, you want to try to be the Northwest Missouri States, which always seem to win those one-score games, except for last year when Washburn found a way to win it. So that is storyline number 9. How does Washburn do in one-score games? Can they duplicate what they did a year ago and be so good in one-score games? That just might determine if you make the playoffs or if you don't in the MIAA this year. Coming up tomorrow, we'll get to our number 8 storyline of the year, leading into some special teams. They were special last year. Can they do that again this year?